Okay, good morning, everybody. Particularly, good morning to my TikTok users. Good morning to my good morning to my Snapchat users. Good morning to my Instagram users. Good morning to my WhatsApp users. How are you guys doing? Have you guys already gotten your daily dosage of dopamine yet? And if you haven't, please just hold your fingers until the end of this conversation. We're going to be speaking about the harmful effects of immersive social media engagement, right? And particularly focusing on how UX design plays a major role in this, right? What first started off as just simple peer-to-peer communication has now evolved into these insane interactive platforms that hold so much rich data and connect billions of people, right? These billions of people, can you guys listen? These billions of people scroll on their phones daily, using hours of their time, consuming so much content. Mika, how many billions of people? I'll show you how many billions of people. So in the year 2020, we were hit with the COVID pandemic, right? And this, as a result, forced a lot of people to stay in their houses, right? We all naturally gravitated towards these little devices here. In the year 2020 to 2021, TikTok gained more than 12 million US users. This is in the US alone, right? Facebook, YouTube, and WhatsApp have about 2.74 billion monthly users, and this was recorded last year in January. There are also over 4.2 billion active social media users, and this is quite literally more than half of the global population. And on top of that, according to my screen time, I spend about 11 hours of my day looking at my phone, and 2 of those hours are dedicated to mindlessly scrolling on TikTok. So the main question here is how? How is it that quite literally more than half of the global population can be stuck and glued to their phones? My main culprit here is UX design principles, right? So UX design is described as the process that design teams use to create products that provide meaningful and relevant experiences to users. UX designers, at the very least, need to be able to understand basic human psychology. Let's take a look at the Maslow's hierarchy of needs here on your left-hand side, right? This is a beautiful visual representation of human psychological needs above our basic needs, which is water, food, warmth, and rest, right? UX designers design their application in such a way that it appeals to and caters to at least 80% of the hierarchy of needs. They also design applications in such a way that it inspires creativity. So if you create and you post it, you're also rewarded. Likes, comments, shares. And the cycle kind of repeats itself. Create, rewarded, create, rewarded, create. And the main problem here is that there's no outline or guideline really for UX designers to create applications that are ethically or morally sound. So they just apply all of these UX principles, hoping that they'd be able to click onto the human psyche. Whether it's morally correct or ethical, does it really matter if we're really getting the user engagement? So let's take a look at the principles, right? The first principle that they apply is called the placebo effect. So this is essentially a psychological phenomenon that describes what may appear to be real, but actually isn't. So when you enter an application like Instagram or like Twitter, the application will actually reload itself, right? It performs all of these back-end data operations that refreshes itself in order to provide you with the newest content available. But we're so impatient that as soon as we get in there, we're quick to pull down to refresh, or we're quick to press that refresh button, hoping that it will actually refresh, when really it does nothing. It's really not doing anything, right? It will already perform all of these actions without you having to do it. You are simply at the mercy of the content that's being fed to you. So stop it. Get help. Next question. So the next principle that we're going to take a look at is called the von Restorff effect, right? The brain loves order. The brain loves organization. The brain loves predictable outcomes. And we use association and similarities for that. So once something stands out to us, it disrupts the natural order of things, and we as users are bound to take notice of that. And UX designers understand this, right? So when they design notifications, they make sure that these notifications stand out. So that little red circle thing on the badge today, that contrast amongst anything else, the ping that you get when you receive a message, or when you get all of these labeled notifications, these push notifications that essentially fill up your screen, it's hard to not notice, right? And this has such a major effect on some people, and I can speak for myself, that I don't even need a notification to pick up my phone. It's muscle memory now. It just happens. The next principle we'll speak about is called the nare exposure effect, right? And we'll take a look at these two games here, Flappy Bird and Super Mario Bros. Essentially what this principle is used for. It's to describe how we as humans tend to gravitate towards things that are more familiar to us. So I played Flappy Bird, and a lot of people also played Flappy Bird because it kind of, sort of, somehow in a way reminded us of Super Mario Bros. But that's because it does, right? Flappy Bird actually took Super Mario Bros.'s background and applied it there. When we played Super Mario Bros. When we were younger, we associated it with our childhood memories and how happy it was and what a fun memory it was, right? And so UX designers tend to design applications that will at least evoke some sort of familiarity. And this is not just with Flappy Bird and Super Mario Bros. No, this is across all social media platforms that may share the same colors, that may share the same images or the same font, that may share the same fonts or whatever the case may be. Take Instagram and TikTok, for example. And so the last principle we'll take a look at is called the Pavlovian conditioning, right? The Pavlovian conditioning is essentially a type of conditioned learning that occurs because it was instinctive to us, not because it was willful. I did not click that button because I wanted to. I clicked that button because it was instinctive, right? And UX designers apply this type of conditioning onto their call to action buttons. All of their call to action buttons, they kind of share the same color, they share the same font, they share the same location even, all just to train our brains that when we click and interact with this button, we're going to have the same outcome every single time. This is called dog patterning, actually. So it manipulates users' expectations. And sometimes it may even lead us to perform actions we did not want to. This one time I wanted to cancel an Uber trip, right? My brain led me to click wait for driver. I didn't click cancel request. But that wasn't on purpose, that was instinctive. All of these stylings that they put on these buttons kind of led me instinctively to click on wait for driver, and I didn't even mean to. So this is essentially a conversation about the harmful effects, right? So what exactly are these harmful effects? The first one is social media addiction, self-explanatory. The second one is feelings of worthlessness and inferiority. And this happens unconsciously. You are scrolling mindlessly, consuming all of this content, and you are comparing yourself with other people. You also feel overwhelmed. You also feel feelings of depression and anxiety. And this is while using the application, also trying to withdraw from using the application. And you're also trying to keep up with appearances. Nobody actually shows their true selves 100% on social media. Now you're just trying to kind of keep up with everybody else. It's fake appearance, if you will. So how can we actually try and regulate UX design? Is there a way that we can try and make things ethically and morally sound, right? So social media giants will try and avoid that. Because if we're going to try and make things ethically sound, we find ourselves in the position to lose user engagement. After that, no money. What's the point? Why try break something if it's not, why try fix something if it's not broken? We're already getting all of this user engagement and we're getting the money. We don't care about how you feel psychologically, right? But here are some things that people can do, right? If you're going to create an application, try to create an application that at least monitors and restricts the amount of time that people make use of their application, right? Or grow up first. Before you actually make use of social media applications, rather wait for your critical thinking skills to develop, or rather wait until maturity has come about. Then maybe you'll be able to have like some sort of decision making when you're making use of these social applications. So thank you for listening.